Hi, Nanama. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Nanama. It's good to see
My
you.
namesake.
Yes, yes, yes. It's good to see you. And we're so pleased that you could join us to just talk about your experience as a legal eagle in Africa and also as a
Mhm.
returnee from the diaspora coming back to set up a wonderful internationally recognized firm in the legal field, specializing in just commercial law and helping corporates and SMEs to grow their businesses. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about your story, how you came to come back to Africa to practice, and also your
Mm.
thoughts on how we can improve the quality of our SMEs, the SMEs that will really go on to create the jobs and the economic growth that we really need across the continent and in the diaspora as well, what the opportunities might be.
Mhm. Wow. First of all, thank you so much. I'm so excited about Scale Up. I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship. And as you know, I'm not just a lawyer, but I call myself a geek lawyer. So this is a terrific opportunity
Thanks for joining us.
to collaborate with you. We've been talking about doing this for a while.
Right.
In terms of my journey, I came back to Ghana in 2002, and my primary motivation was to just come and have an impact, and on a personal level, to have my children grow up in Ghana and to experience, life growing up in Ghana, where they are the majority. So I've been here since 2002, as I said, and I have done a variety of things. I started working for one of the top firms here. And then I had my own sole practice for a while, which was very interesting. And then I went in-house working for a Pan-African private equity fund. And that's where I think I got a lot of exposure and learned a lot about investments and from the perspective of the investor. That has really served me very well. I set up my own firm 9 years ago, and we've grown nicely. And we do inbound investment work, and general corporate and commercial projects and things. Um, my coming back was not easy, but I would do it again. I would definitely do it again. It's been challenging to integrate socially, and it's also been challenging from a business perspective, because, well, I came back from New York, where I worked for a big global firm. And coming back and practicing in Ghana was very different. The pace is different, the body of law is different, everything was different. And so it did take some adjustment, but I have had tremendous, tremendous opportunities. And the level at which I have been working, it has not been less than that which I was doing in New York. So it's been very rewarding from the point of view of feeling that your work is meaningful and impactful. So that's been terrific.
Yeah, I definitely echo that sentiment. Just that, like you said, the level
Mm.
is several notches above the daily grind, and you don't feel like it's a daily grind. It's just so much more dynamic in that
Yeah.
regard. Yeah, yeah. So tell us a
Yeah.
bit more about your practice and the clients that you've been able to serve. The big corporations and maybe the smaller clients. How have you helped them to navigate the legal terrain across the continent and
Mm.
internationally as well?
So yeah, so in terms of my law firm in Ghana, we're a Ghana focused firm. So what we do a lot of is we help companies that are expanding into Ghana mostly to think through some of the legal risks associated with entering the market. Once they're in the market, with challenges that they face in their operations. And then when it's time for them to exit, a lot of them have PE funds or investors that are coming in for a specific period of time. We help them with divestment and liquidation, if that the need arises there. The firm, we are mostly women in the law firm, which I'm very proud of.
Right.
And we are a corporate firm. We do main practice areas are corporate and M&A and private equity, which is my background. but we do a significant amount of infrastructure work, infrastructure and energy and oil and gas, and also property, mostly commercial property and hospitality, hotels, and that kind of thing. And those are our key areas. We also do the finance associated with projects and the property and construction.
Excellent, excellent. And tell us a bit more about your work with smaller businesses, maybe small and medium-sized businesses, or businesses that are based in Africa, maybe exporting or doing international business. Can you tell us a bit more about your experience helping them navigate the legal framework? Because that's a big challenge for a lot of SMEs, just trying to creative industries, in particular, digital agencies. They need, massive gap in their toolkit, just accessing intellectual properties advice, commercial advice, as navigating contracts on an international, even if national, with clients like that, but internationally, they find it very difficult to navigate that terrain. Can you tell us a bit more about your thoughts on what you're doing currently with companies like that, and maybe prospects for the future to protect more of our creatives on the scene?
Yeah, so super important. I have to say that depending on how you define SME, maybe we are serving or aren't serving so many, to be candid. So I think in terms of the local businesses, we don't actually have that many clients. And one of the initiatives that we've taken recently as a firm is to launch a program called Launchpad. And the purpose of Launchpad is to support Ghanaian businesses that are either in the growth phase or really promising, well-organized startups. And what we do is we take them on, and we have a different model and fee model for those firms. And we take them on, and we will charge them a nominal retainer, and we'll work with them for a while. So I think that the first crop of firms that we are working with are, looking to do a fundraise. And so what we have been working with them on is cleaning up doing some internal due diligence and cleaning up on the compliance front. And then we will start to look at, their contracts, and the whole idea is to help themselves as far as possible, because I think depending on their budgets, it's not realistic for them to rely on external legal resources, and most of them don't have the resources to have in-house counsel. So what we're trying to do is to help them themselves and to know when to reach out so that they can maximize the use of their budget. So once we get the internal compliance things down, and we work on which are the high priority, the material contracts where they should probably reach out. And in terms of, you mentioned IP, very important. We would help them to think through which, what sorts of things to protect, the registration, and in which jurisdiction. So the registration process is expensive, it's cumbersome. And sometimes, depending on what you're talking about, by the time you get to the end of the process, it's kind of no point.
Cool. So what are your thoughts? We've had so many conversations like this with professional service providers like yourself, corporations, people from foundations, who've worked a lot with SMEs. And, a big part of the conversation has been how, our corporations and our boards can, maybe change the narrative in terms of how SME support services are viewed. Generally, it's considered as, CSR charity, but actually we had a conversation with one of our partners in the UK who had run a corporate innovation and entrepreneurship accelerator. And he was saying how they because of the relationship they had with the corporation, a lot of the SMEs that they helped during the accelerator were able to actually generate over eight-figure revenues for the corporation, because the corporation had a big part to play in terms of procurement and feeding in the SMEs from that program into their procurement and supply chains. So these are all things that we are really trying to advocate for and showcase and let people know, especially on the continent, that SMEs are a channel to R&D, to innovation, to amazing new solutions within existing industries. So if you want to tap into disruption. you know, what are your thoughts on how we can get more boards and more leaders and more corporations to understand that there is value there potentially?
You know, I think it's the conversation is difficult because SMEs covers such a broad range of companies. But the kinds of companies that can tap into the resources that you have and that we would be willing to assist through our Launchpad program are organized. And SME does not mean that you are not well formed or that you're disorganized. It means that you're at a particular point in the life cycle of your business. So I think we need more service providers who are prepared to step in with some realistic fee structures so that the SMEs that are interested in making sure that they're compliant and taking advantage of these services can do so. And that's something that we've really tried to work on. But definitely, I think accountants, lawyers, you know, other similar service providers need to come together and think through how we can serve this segment of the business sector. I mean, our business, frankly, is an SME, and so I can relate to a lot of the challenges that SMEs in other sectors face. Difficulties with engaging with banks, difficulties in getting basic things like a working capital line. So in terms of what corporates can do, I think corporates are engaging with SMEs that are sufficiently well organized and can meet their procurement requirements. So I think they're doing that. I think it's really a case of helping the SMEs to get to the point where they can be seen as a viable entity, such that they can really be taken into the supply chain without, you know, creating risks to the larger corporates.
Right, that's exactly the point. And so it boils down to the fact that, you know, we need to improve the quality of our business development service provision as well to them, and have a conversation that will join up the whole chain in terms of corporations, you know, business development agencies like ours, and, you know, professional service providers like yourselves. And it's great to hear more about Launchpad as well. And we're so pleased to have you on board as a legal partner for ScaleUp Africa as well. So we're looking forward to some amazing new results and new approaches in the way that we look at our relationships, and, you know, like you say, our fee structuring, and the way that we even serve, you know, potential new markets in the SME sector to improve the quality of their performance for them to then go on to create the jobs that we so desperately need. Thank you so much, Amma. It's good to see you, and we look forward to engaging more with you in the next.
Likewise.
All right. Likewise. Great to see you.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Thank you.